Super Plus.
Greetings and welcome to the Hills of Steel 2 Tank Breakdown series. I'm your host Andrew and we're back to introduce a new tank to the series. Today we're going to be looking at the electrifying Sparky. This tank has a couple of usual features which are designed to help support your team as well as do damage to the enemies. As you can see, we have it up to level 10, so you're going to be able to see what it looks like with all three tank parts attached. As it is one of our older tanks, it does come with a handful of skins, so we're going to put on this Viking Sparky as it looks great. You'll notice that on the statistics, Sparky has a reasonable amount of health, okay damage, but great special. In terms of the tank attachments, we have all the usual, but how we're going to design it today is that we want to be able to survive the best that we can so that we can better support our team with Sparky. So this means that when we're going to be putting these on, we're going to choose the 2% speed boost, the 15% health per kill, as well as additional faster health regeneration. The idea behind this is that we can do a lot of damage, go in and fall back very quickly so that we can survive long enough in order to use our special. But let's now jump into the action and see what that actually looks like. First up, we're going to be jumping into some star catch, so let's check that out. So with Sparky, you start off with just a standard ability. As you can see on the screen, Sparky has a ball of electrifying energy that builds up at the front of his barrel. When fired, it then sends that electrifying ball outwards, and any tanks that are in range get hit by lightning that comes from the sparking ball. Once you fire the first ball, you'll immediately notice that the next one starts to build up on Sparky. So, that means that you can be able to fire right away. However, there is a number of things to take into consideration with this. Whenever you're building up the ball of electrifying damage, if you fire it off a little earlier, the ball's a little smaller, which means it'll do a lot less damage. If you let it build up to its full potential and then fire off, you'll do a lot more damage. So, it's always ideal to be able to let it build up to its maximum potential and then fire it off to do a lot of damage. Of course, with Sparky, one of the things you can do is sit back to support your team to fire off the balls of electric, and then, when you're ready, you can use your special to go in and assist your team. The special, when triggered, is an accelerator. It will basically boost the speed of you and enemy friendly tanks within range, as well as the regeneration of your shots and health. This makes it a great utility in team fights for whenever you want to push in aggressively somewhere, or if you need to help your friendly tanks get back out to safety and regenerate. One of the places that you'll see this most effectively is in things like domination. But because this does seem like a great utility, it does not mean the Sparky does not have its drawbacks. Whenever you're playing a Sparky, one of the things to note is that when you fire your electrifying ball, if it hits into the ground, it will detonate into the ground and then become useless. So you need to be careful as to when you're building it up, when you're firing it, and at what range. When you do fire off shots with Sparky, you'll notice that there's a little bit of a recoil, which can cause the balls of energy to go up or down. So you need to be careful when firing it off and your positioning. In some maps, that means that not all hills will be to your advantage. In this, for example, in Domination, with the groove being down into the ground, it means that when we're sitting high up and firing with Sparky, usually the balls of energy go too high. So we actually need to get into the action by pushing into the enemies, and because we don't have that much health, it means the Sparky can die quite easily. So another thing just to be careful of whenever you're playing. Mostly the idea is to be using your special ability to help boost your teammates so that they can do the damage and control the points. But in most cases this will work out, and in some, not so much. Let's now take a look at another game mode. In this time, we're going to be taking a look at Sparky in one-on-one in the rare duo. In most cases, in a one-on-one situation with Sparky, it might be that you'll lose a lot of the time. The reason being is because Sparky not having a direct hit attack and needing the energy ball to build up means that a lot of tanks can get in quickly up close and personal and take you down. However, in this case we're a little bit fortunate that we're going up with Morty, who also suffers the same problem. With Morty shooting shells over the top of us, it means that we can be the aggressor and push right into Morty to use our balls of energy to do damage. The great thing about Sparky is although it is a slow build-up of damage, it still means that no matter how close the tanks are, we can still do damage, unlike the Morty. So we're a little bit fortunate in this matchup. But when it comes to other things, like a Scorpion, a Kong, a Joker, or anything that can get close to us and get close to us pretty quick, means we may be in trouble. So always be careful when you're going into one-on-one game modes with Sparky. Normally, in a situation like this with the hills as well, would be a great place to practice positioning because it is a very upwards and downwards sloping hills and can prove to be a bit of a challenge. This concludes our first look at Sparky. Just remember, support your team with your special, position yourself right and let your energy ball build up the best you can to get the best damage out of it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the content we have going on. Join our Discord so you can interact with other fans, share fan art and participate in giveaways. Also, if you play Sparky and you have some hints or tips for players, leave us a comment below on how you play them. Until the next time, have fun, and we will see you on the hills.